Hey everyone, and welcome to Adventures by D. Happy Theme Park Thursday.
Hello everybody. Welcome to our Thursday night live stream. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. We had some big travels last week, so welcome in everyone. Thank you for joining. We appreciate it. I'm Adventurer Dave.
And I'm Kris.
This is Adventures by D.
Woohoo!
We're a family-friendly YouTube channel covering theme parks in the Southeast and also in the Midwest last week. It was so much fun last week. So tonight we're going to talk about Kings Island. We're going to talk about Holiday World. We're going to talk about some other stops. We're going to talk about our stop at the Indianapolis Zoo. Hey, Karki, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Hey, so where would you like to start this live stream tonight?
So I have to first say, I don't know if any of you guys kind of feel like us. We've been, locked in for a while. So it was fun to plan and go on a family road trip, jump in the car and drive. And we also got to see family, which was pretty cool too, I thought.
Yes, we had a family member with a big birthday that we hadn't seen since pre-virus. So
yeah, like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then a lot of your other family too. So
yeah.
We got to see a ton of people, and that was just so awesome to be able to do that. So that in and of itself was an awesome visit. Of course, with us, you got to throw in some theme parks and some zoos and a bunch of other stuff and a lot of driving, and that is an Adventures by D vacation. Right?
That is an Adventures by D, and there was some good food too. We'll talk about too, both in and around the theme parks.
Yes,
and inside and outside the theme parks.
Yes. So we're in the Atlanta area, and we drove from Atlanta and headed to Kings Island first on our stops. And on the way, we knew that there was this massive attraction, which is just outside of Kings Island. And Kings Island is just outside of Cincinnati in Ohio, a city called Mason, Ohio. And we saw something called the Ark Encounter. I don't know if anyone is familiar with this. You could call it a roadside attraction stop, except it would be literally the most expensive roadside attraction stop that I have ever been to. I would say that.
It was south of Cincinnati, just by about an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour. It's in Williamstown, Kentucky. I tried to get that in the vlog, and for some reason I couldn't say Williamstown, Kentucky. But it's up 75 south of Cincinnati, and it's called the Ark Encounter. We're going to show a little clip of the video here that we took on site, but it's a massive depiction of biblical proportions. True. It's the size that they would think it was depicted in the Bible of Noah's Ark. So the Ark itself. When we get the vlog out, hopefully the video does it justice, but to see it up close and how big it was amazing. Let's show a little clip so you all can see what we're talking about if you haven't been up there before.
So it is just, this thing is massive. So what they did is they, they literally built a replica of Noah's Ark. And this is like the back side of it when you're entering. You see it from all different angles. And the attraction is actually inside of the Ark. You go in on different levels. But it is just absolutely massive. And there's a whole wall depicting how they built it and how they determined from the Bible. Because our measurements today aren't the same as in the Bible. So how they came up with the measurements with everything. To come up with this size.
It was amazing. The size of it, but also you can hear, you can't hear that some of the music that was playing inside, it was kind of like a biblical / Egyptian theme. It's hard to describe, but the music was really good. There were a lot of cool exhibits, like high level, high money exhibits, like well done, I should say. Like the animatronics were almost Disney-esque. They had animals, kind of fake animatronic animals that Noah would have had to bring on the Ark, and they made noise, and they were well lit, and they were in these cages. So it was very well done, I thought, the exhibits on the inside.
Yeah, but it was not cheap to get in here. So for what I'll call a roadside stop, which when we got there, we're like, oh, nobody will be there. And people were parked all the way out to the street. We're like, what is this place, right? And it was, so if you guys are ready for sitting down, it was $50 for adults and $25 for ages, I think 12 to 17, something like that. So the 4 of us, it was $150 plus tax to go in this thing. Like really expensive. And you park away from it and you take a bus to get to the Ark. So that was pretty wild. And I think, Dave, you were just kind of showing the walk up. We could probably fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, we can show some of the inside here. I'll keep talking like Kris brings up another piece of the video.
This video might. And that's what kind of walking into.
So they had the walkways. It was very ADA friendly because they had these huge ramps. You see us going up the ramps here. This is still getting in. But inside they had the huge ramps right down the middle of the Ark. So very easy to get up and down to all 3 floors. Even in a wheelchair, I'm sure they had an elevator somewhere, but it was a massive, easily to get around up and down the middle of the ramps. Yeah, car key, $50 a person. We thought
you heard that right.
Yeah, it was a little much.
It was quite expensive.
They did have military discounts, so they did have senior discounts starting at I think it was age 16. So
it's interesting, Dave. So Dave was using a GoPro here, and it's interesting how it's shaking when you're walking. It shouldn't be doing that. So I wonder if the floor was moving some as we walked. You know what I mean? Like if it was pliable.
I didn't notice it was pulsating like that.
So we have other footage, but it's just a massive, like 3 floors of scenes. And then they would have these, like, kind of where I'm moving my mouse, they'd have these places to tell you to stand where you can look up and down through the floors of the Ark, up and down them. So just kind of crazy. So he's walking just like deck 2. They had these exhibits that had animals and types of dinosaurs or lizards, and the types of animals representative of what would have been on the Ark. I guess Dave's just walking the ramps here. Looks exciting, Dave. Looks like you're having a great time when you went.
That's my sights and sounds up and down the ramps.
Absolutely. So let's see here. So this is one of the maps. So we just wanted to spend, we will have a separate video on this. We took a ton of video. It was very crowded in there, so we were trying to be really careful about where we videoed so we can get a ton of people on the video. It was way more crowded than you would ever think for something like that. Wild, like in the middle of, it was in Kentucky, right? So yes. It was just in Kentucky before you hit Ohio, and like the place was packed, just packed.
We stopped for a snack.
Yeah, we did because we were hungry. They have like different eateries like in the grounds. It's totally crazy.
Yeah, they had a full buffet in another building right next to the Ark.
Like, look at this thing. Like, can you see the size of this ship that you go into? And then they had a zoo. They had some animals. I thought maybe they'd have a lot more animals, like one of every animal or 2 that they would have had on the Ark. But no, those were more represented inside as fake animals that look pretty cool. This was more just, I don't know how they choose. There was like kangaroos and stuff. I don't actually know how they choose what was in this zoo.
One part that's cool, you can see to the left of your screen, you can actually go in and walk around, I think with the wallabies and baby kangaroos. Like you can go inside the enclosure. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they kept the wallabies on the grass and you were on the path, but you actually got to go in the cage. Not with the rams here, but across the way here with the wallabies, and I think there were wallabies and baby kangaroos.
Yeah, so it was interesting. Definitely something. I can cross that one off my bucket list. We'd heard about it, and since we were literally going right by it, it was a big discussion because of the cost, because it is not cheap. And Dave's like, "Hey, do you have a AAA discount?" They're like, "No." Groupon? No. Look at this. You're like literally walking in the enclosure with the kangaroos. So that was unique. Never done that. They definitely weren't getting close to you. But
here you can see the backside of the Ark. It looks a lot more like a building. You can see the support columns, but it's very well engineered because you can't see those columns on the front side.
Yeah.
To mess up the giant Ark view. So yeah, probably a little bit on the expensive side, but there is a lot to do there, I have to say.
If you are very much into religion and biblical history, I think this place, you would really, really like this place because it has all sorts of exhibits on the different levels that explain different things. There was an exhibit, all about the animals on the ark, the types of food, Noah and his family and how they would have lived, how the ark was made theoretically at the time, like the craftsmanship that would have gone into it. There was a lot of that. And then there was a lot of religious areas. So if you were interested in that, you could probably spend a full day in there. There were videos and movies and all sorts of things. So when I looked at it online, it had said, oh, you can spend at least half a day, if not a full day here. And I was like, what? And then we went in there. I understood why, because you could, depending on what you watched, it was so crowded though. Some of those areas we opted not to go into because it was just so packed. But I
think the zoo was included. It was not an additional cost.
Now we just went to the Ark. They do have a separate museum like 45 minutes away that would be an additional ticket for creationist theory. I guess I would
well, it was called the Creation Museum, so I guess that's what it was.
And you could get like this combo ticket that you could do that too. That was a drive from where it was. So look at these guys have the right idea, right? They're like eating and sleeping. They're really enjoying themselves. And it was cool when we started out. It's like so cool. It's kind of wild because it's so warm right now, but it was quite cold.
Yeah, Kentucky and Cincinnati were cool. Indianapolis got a bit warmer, and then you'll see by the time we get to Holiday World, it was in the mid 80s and very, very warm during the day.
Oh, it's
there's some lemurs in there.
Lemur. Is that King Julian? King Julian from Madagascar. Hey, everybody.
Go ahead.
So what? So that was like our first. I can stop.
That was stop number 1.
Yes. Stop sharing here. So that was stop number 1, the Ark Encounter. Have you guys, Karki, have you ever heard of it? This huge Noah's Ark built to theoretical true proportions of what would have been the Ark. We had, but
I'd heard of it. I hadn't.
We just didn't realize the scope and magnitude of it. Let's put it that way. It was something else.
I want to say hi if you're watching on the replay.
Yes.
Feel free to let us know. #replay in the comments. Welcome aboard.
Replay. Whoop whoop.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, Carol's heard of it. You haven't gone.
Yeah, it's wow. So for us, that was a one-time visit, I think.
Now, I will say there are some other things to do on the grounds. Like there was a buffet restaurant in a separate building right next to the Ark. There's also like a 4D ride that wasn't open, some type of 4D sensory theater. I'm not sure what the theme was inside, but there was a separate building for that wasn't open. So there are some other things there on the grounds that you could do besides the Ark, but there's actually a lot to see in the Ark.
Yeah. Let's see here. And then from there, we did Kings Island. We were right there. And that was a ton of fun. And while we talk, oh yeah, Dave is wearing, so we have like, we're going to kind of show you some of the merch and stuff we got. Dave's wearing the Beast. Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim Pruitt, welcome in. Thanks for joining. Appreciate
Dave's wearing his Beast shirt from the Beast, which was the roller coaster he was most looking forward to on this trip. And you rode some humdinger ones on this trip, didn't you? Lots of wooden ones.
I rode a ton of wooden roller coasters in both parks on this trip. Yeah. So Kris is going to bring Kings Island up. So I'm going to say this once because Kris is tired of hearing me saying it, but it's a park where, and you see it in the Instagram feed and every video description on Kings Island, but it's a park where I grew up in the 70s and 80s. I grew up in the Midwest. So yes, Kings Island. You're asking about Kings Island, Tim? Was that worth it? Absolutely. Kings Island is worth it. So It's a big roller coaster park. It's one of the largest parks in the Midwest. It competes a lot with Cedar Point, which is closer to Cleveland. I've never been to Cedar Point, but I know they got world-class roller coasters up there too. But this one's closer to Cincinnati. And growing up in the Midwest, this is the closest major theme park to me. The Beast was worth it, Tim.
He used to ride it a long time ago.
So the Beast opened in '79, and I remember riding it that year when it was brand new. So I love the Beast. So besides, I grew up there. Kris and I went when we were dating about 20 years ago, but the kids had never been. So this was their first time. And I was interested in how they thought of it versus some of the parks they had been to, Six Flags and Dollywood and Disney, and how they compared it. So we're going to get to that in a second. This is a live stream we did when I was there. I took everybody around for about an hour. The park, obviously, besides the Beast, had got some newer Giga Steel roller coasters. Like you can see Orion in the background there, the blue. Madison and I rode that. That's their newest kind of Giga roller coaster, and that was amazing. Super, super high. Ride was great. I'm going to say there's another coaster in the park called Diamondback that was a little bit longer ride. It's a steel coaster, but Orion was good. So Orion's a very good, very, very good coaster. Thank you, Karki. I'll put the stream up there.
And we thought it would be good to choose this one. We have a ton of footage, but it might be better as we're talking just to show this one because Dave kind of gives this whole tour of the park. The park is interesting. It was really clean. There's different lands. The roller coasters frame the outside. Let me see, get this right. The roller coasters frame the outside of the park. So it's kind of like goes all around the perimeter of the park, which I thought was very interesting. Like in a design, when I actually sat there and looked at the map, tons of coasters. They have this Eiffel Tower when you go in that you can take to the top, and then you can get this aerial view of the entire park. So what is it? A third of the
It's a third
Eiffel
of the
Tower?
Paris. Yeah, the Eiffel Tower is kind of their landmark there, if you will. It's right after the fountains are huge when you walk in, kind of like Caesar's Palace fountains in Vegas. It's definitely worth going, Tim, I think. And then you've got the Eiffel Tower in the middle that kind of shows the whole park if you go up on it. And then you have the roller coasters kind of on the outside of the park. All the major roller coasters kind of line the park on the outside.
Now, one thing we did, I'm going to share this because I kind of picked this up, is we invested in what they call their Fast Lane Plus, right?
Here, show it again so you can see it.
So you get a wristband. So it's their version of an express pass. The reason we did it is we knew it was going to be, we're going to be there one day. We were there during Memorial Weekend, so high crowds and big coasters. So that means the lines for these coasters, which they ended up being, would be really long. So if these guys wanted to ride a ton of the coasters, we felt like it was an investment. But like this express was expensive. It was like double the cost of the ticket pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So a ticket to Kings Island is significantly less than like a ticket to Disney, right?
Yeah, online I think the ticket's only between $40 and $50, which is very, very reasonable, I think.
Yeah. And this is their Orion area, so it's themed as like a military zone where there's all these announcements going on that like to watch out and take control, and it's like things have landed. And
it's like an Area 51 type of Roswell, New Mexico.
It's really cool
type of vibe.
There's all this like stuff piping in, telling you, to watch out, and then Orion is straight ahead for that coaster. And then there's another coaster to the left called Flight of Fear, and that coaster, Madison really liked. It's an indoor course coaster. She was so shocked how much she liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, Karki, I think that's a good strategy. If you're in a family of multiple folks and some can ride the rides and some can't, then the fast pass things aren't cheap. So I think that's a great strategy for the folks that are going to ride the big ones. Buy that, and then if they're not, don't buy it.
And they have 2 tiers of their fast lane plus, and where they get you is there's like 1 tier and it has a couple of the rides, but if you want to ride anything new like this ride or a couple others, you have to do the plus version of it to get it in there. But it was a huge time savings for you in Madison. I mean, they would walk on rides that people were waiting an hour and a half for. So it was really, really good.
Yeah,
that thing. Could you imagine doing that? Going down that? Dave and Madison, they're crazy, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty high up. It's just as high as it looked, Tim. It was very high up. I mean, I get on these roller coasters from Madison. Always sounds like a great idea, but that thing was up so high. I don't know what the footage is. I'm sure I can find it online, but it was amazingly high. But it was a lot of fun. I hadn't ridden that, and that's their newest coaster. And again, with the fast lane, we walked on. Madison and I think we waited maybe 5 minutes. We walked on most of the big rides, which like the Beast and some of the other big coasters had at least 45 minutes to an hour wait. In fact, you can see the regular queue right in here. You see the queue moving back in here, and the gates way to the left. So that's at least a 45-minute line.
Hey, Tom. We haven't gotten to the portion where you're involved yet.
Yeah. I love Vacationers podcast. We met them too for dinner, which we're going to talk about. So it was great meeting that clan in person.
Yes.
So where were we talking about? Kings Island, the fast lane?
So definitely, I think that fast lane's worth it. Unless you go all the time, I would say you should invest in that fast lane. Now, we paid an amount, which was it 70 for the fast lane?
70, plus? 75, yeah.
And then Tom, they went at a different time. They paid a lot more. And we think it's pricing at the closer you get to the time you buy the fast lane. So just if you think you're going to do it, buy that early. So the time, if they increase it based on demand, it doesn't get you. The fast lane plus had sold out the day we were there. And the other thing we did, so Dave's been doing all the parks we've been going to, is we've been getting their photo packages. So this is their.
See if I can make that bigger.
This is their, well, it's called Fun Pics. Dave had a thing he wore around his neck, and then every time they have a lot of pictures on rides, so it would be included. And theoretically, what we really wanted was there's a picture when you go in the front of the park that they had a photographer, like most parks do, and it's supposed to be included, but they wouldn't add it to it. And then the line at the end of the night to redeem the ticket they gave us to put on our card there's no way we could have waited in that line. I think we'd still be in it today. Like that's how long the line was with one person working. So we never got those pictures. So the real reason we got it, and you did get some on-ride photos with you and Madison on a few things.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if it was worth it though.
Yeah, honestly, for YouTube and for the vlogs, sometimes I get the on-ride photos and use them as thumbnails. Or
you put a lot in here, but I don't know. If I was going to frequent the park, I don't know the value of it. There was only one photographer in the front to take your picture, and they weren't there all the time. And we had to ask them to take our picture. Like people were walking up themselves, taking it with cell phones, which we should have done. But that's one thing. It's interesting because we've been trying that at all the different parks that we've gone to just to see what it's like with the photo packages. I mean, we always get it at Disney because there's so many photographers, and I see a huge value in it at Disney. We always think when we go to Universal that they should have more of those photographers around to take pictures. I know they have on-ride photos and stuff. Six Flags, we got it this year for Six Flags over Georgia, but they only take a picture in the front. We've used it several times. And there's on-ride photos, but they're few and far between at Six Flags.
We have the pass for Dollywood, too.
Dollywood, yes.
It's just at some of the parks, there's a consistency issue in the quality of the picture. I don't think Kris said this, but at the front of the park, we didn't really ever get those pictures, which if I'm going to want any, it's at the front of the park where the main photo spot is for the entire park, especially a park we get to once every 20 years.
Yeah. So how much did you pay for that photo thing? Was it $30?
It was $25, $35, something like that.
You bought it ahead of time, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'd get that one again. I think the Express is a big thumbs up if you want to ride any of the coasters and you're going to be there, especially this summer. Like there were crowds. So, and I don't necessarily know if it would have mattered. Maybe in the middle of the week, it's not as bad, but there's a ton of crowds. Like Six Flags Over Georgia, where we are, we're in Atlanta. There's a lot of crowds when we're going right now, like a lot of crowds. It's a very busy park. So I would assume that's the same translating to these parks too. This is some of the merchandise from the Orion area.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to assume the rest of the summer, especially the 2 big holiday weekends left, all parks are going to be crazy. People are just wanting to get out, and I don't blame them. So are we. You know, being let loose from being in the house the last year and a half. So we've seen the crowds pick up as we've been from the parks through opening day till now.
Oh yeah.
And I expect them to get really busy up until whenever your school starts in August, Labor Day, September.
Yeah, we've done some things where we've gone to Six Flags and it's been so busy they just turn around and don't even go in sometimes. And other times they've gone in, and him and Madison, you can only ride like 1 or 2 rides in a couple hours because it's been so busy. So yeah, it was this park is really charming, and if you're into thrill rides, they have a ton of them. Now there was like one show going on that was like an 80s group that was near their Eiffel Tower that started later. I feel like it was 4 or 5 o'clock when it started, but there weren't any other shows going on. But since then, I've seen on Twitter and Instagram they do have other shows going on. Since that was the one thing I wished, because I'm not riding the big coaster, so I would have liked something to take my time more. That like when we get to Holiday World, they had that. Mm-hmm. That Kings Island to me didn't. It's like I was doing a lot of waiting. There wasn't much I could do to entertain myself. Sometimes I was just waiting, and that I needed some entertainment, I think.
Yeah, I don't think they had a lot of shows. I think some of them went away for COVID and never came back, but they did have like an 80s band at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower and the fountain.
And they were pretty decent. The show went on several times. So I enjoyed it when it started because we ended up catching it several times. But it's like a wide open park. It's really clean. You know, a lot of rides, a lot of different types of rides.
I think the coaster lineup is excellent there. Just all the rides and the coasters. It competes with Cedar Fair quite a bit, which is in the same state. Here you can see their Windseeker ride, which I did not ride, but I think Tom did.
Tom, you had a picture on Twitter that you guys rode that.
That's impressive.
That. Yeah, because it looks like a different sort of swing ride. Like Six Flags Over Georgia has one of the swing rides that go way up in the air. I don't know how many 100 feet, but this one looked like it had this arm that kicked you out some. So it wasn't the chain; it was like a different mechanism to kick you out. So, and their what is it? Fast Lane Plus. I keep calling it something different. Their Fast Lane Plus. I had picked the thing up. It's okay. It is. It like covered a ton of the rides, so you could get on many of these things. I mean, Madison and I, we went up in the Eiffel Tower, and there was one line where everyone's waiting to go to the Eiffel Tower, and we got in the other line. And when the next elevator came, we were on it. Like we didn't have to wait, and all these other people were waiting forever. They have little automobiles you drive, like these things, and we walked right up and we got on the next automobile while everyone else is waiting in line, because that's how good. It's kind of like Universal's Express, except probably less waiting than Universal has, but very similar. Very, very worth the money, I would say, to do it. So if your time is, you have one day. So
Tim likes the lower swing rides. Yeah, I'm like you, Tim.
I'm afraid it's gonna like whip you, and you're just gonna fly into. Maybe you'd fly with Orion and blast off into the atmosphere. Yeah.
But so we talked a little bit about the rides. What about the food at Kings Island?
Yeah, I don't know what to say about the food. Now, Tom's on here. He had pictures on Twitter when he went. They went several days after us, different day. His food looked a lot better than what we got. We went in this place called the Fest House, Haus. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to get German food. This is going to be so cute. And we walk in there and it's like, you can have pizza or you can have burgers or there's a Panda Express. And I was like, what is happening? So.
Oh yeah, they got the dining passes. We did not get the dining pass.
And for us, and I hope it worked out for you, Tom. I can't wait to kind of see your vlog and like listen to your podcast on it, because the lines for food were so long when we were there. We ended up getting food okay, but everywhere we went, we ate
early. We had an earlier lunch. We did basically Orion Flight of Fear, and then we had lunch, because we've learned if you don't eat it off hours during these crazy park busy days,
you're not going to get food.
You're not going to get lunch.
Yeah.
Basically, you're going to get a treat or some kind of snack in a snack bar, and then on to dinner after the park closes.
But their food, it was like we go in the Fest House, fine. We get 2 burgers, and you and Madison got pizza. So it was like 2 slices of pizza with like breads. We had breadsticks. And it was like 70. Oh, and 4 drinks, but we got large because we were there. It was like $76 for that. So I would say maybe closer to Disney pricing, where like the burgers were between $12 and $14 for the plate. Wow, look at that sucker just go.
So one other thing the park is known for, which I didn't know now until I went this time, was blue ice cream, which you're going to see in the vlog. Not in this video we're showing, but if you go and watch our Kings Island vlog, it's in the vlog. So they had a classic boat ride when I was there when I was a kid there in the 70s that I absolutely loved. It was themed to Hanna-Barbera cartoon characters. They switched it to a Smurf ride, and when they switched it to a Smurf ride in the early 80s, that's when they started selling the blue ice cream. So this year, brand new, to go with the blue ice cream theme. Let me get this full screen.
Dave was so upset with what happened to this thing.
Yeah, it's all crinkled up.
Do you see, like, I put it in our backpack that carries our cameras, and I got shoved in the back of the car, and his can got smushed. So he's like, what happened? And you can't take they open it for you. You can't take one unopened, but it's like literally ice cream, blue ice cream. And we have video, like it does look, it doesn't look quite blue. This is what I told the kids. If you guys, kids, and if they can self-serve their own soda and they get every flavor of soda, we call them suicides. I don't know what, like you get every flavor from the machine. That's what this looked like. It was like purplish blue, I would say, right?
It was like blueberry beer with like a vanilla kick to it.
And they had a separate beer that was around Orion for like that coaster. It was called something. It was a separate. I can't remember. And Tom, maybe you write in if you knew, if you saw that other beer. They had a can around Orion that was like a different roller coaster beer. Yeah, but I thought that was pretty cute. And then the kids got the Smurf, the blue ice cream. Which we did. That was a longer line we waited in, but once we got it, the line got a lot longer. We got it in. It served in 2 areas. It's like they have a Snoopy land for kids, which is so cute. Oh my gosh. But we didn't get the blue ice cream there. We got it in, I don't know the name of the land that we got it in. It has like a lot of the extreme rides in it. It's where the drop tower is.
Yes, Tim, it was a beer, by the way. It's an ale.
Yeah.
But to Chris's point, the blue ice cream stand, they had 2, one in the kids' land and the other where the drop tower of Banshee was. So pro tip is to get your blue ice cream, not in kids' land, because that's where the bigger line was of the 2 stands.
Yeah, when we walked over through kids' land, the line for the ice cream there, I think they were waiting probably like 4 hours. It was so long. But it's kind of wild because you see everybody with these cones and they have this like blue ice cream in it, and the kids thought it tasted like blueberry milk. They weren't blown away by that blue ice cream. They felt like it was icy and didn't have much flavor. We're going to contrast that with Holiday World that we went to. They also had a blue ice cream.
Yeah.
Apparently this was the week of blue ice cream, which no one's ever had, and now they've had it twice. So different types.
I would say those parks, at least they had signature things.
Yes.
There are other parks close to us that don't have the signature things. So I'm like,
correct.
I'm good with the blue ice cream. If that's your thing, go for it.
Yes. And everybody had it.
Yeah. So Kings Island was awesome.
I wish we could have been there another day.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot to do in a day.
So I did ride the Beast, by the way. It had been 20 years since I rode it, and just like I remembered it, I'm glad it hadn't changed. It was, I think I made a comment in the vlog, it was a little more rickety, or maybe I was more rickety. But it has 2 big drops on it. Then after the second drop, there's a tunnel and 2 really big G curves, I'll call them. And definitely get some torque on your back on those curves. So again, that's probably just 20 years of age on me versus the wooden roller coaster. But it was good, and I'm glad some things haven't changed since when I was a kid. So I enjoyed the Beast as if it was 1979.
And this was the trip of wooden roller coasters, I feel like, from the parks. Definitely known for that.
Oh, it's a thing in Michigan too, apparently. Nice. Maybe we have to go to Michigan Adventure. Karki, isn't that the theme park up there? I just saw that on the web this week. So I don't know if that's a good one to visit or not.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. So we did basically a full day at Kings Island.
We went open to close. The thing that happened to us, so before we went, it was going to be open from 10 to 10. And in the evening, they were going to have fireworks, and they have this like water fountain show. Isn't that cool? Look at that coaster going through the water at the end. That's the Diamondback.
Yeah.
That thing is amazing to see. And they were going to have fireworks and this like water fountain show. And we were so excited. I mean, we haven't seen fireworks in forever. And so we were planning on doing that. And then the week before we left, they said, oh, we're going to shut at 8. Too bad, so sad. And I feel like they opened an hour later too than they were going to. The hours shifted quite a bit. So we were there. We got there before they opened. And we were lined up to get in, and there was a huge line. And they let season pass holders in 30 minutes early. Like, that's their deal for season pass holders. So I think that's what was the line getting into park. It was long. Like, we probably waited 30 minutes, and park wasn't open. I mean, we probably got there 45 minutes early or something. So, and so we were there before open to what was their close.
Right.
At 8 then. And I wish we'd had those other 2 hours. It probably would have made a difference in getting on even more stuff. Like, I wish we could have done another day because it's really charming. Very pretty. And it was cool that day. So, wow, it was great.
Yeah, we did. I think I did 15,000 steps, maybe more than that. But it was so cool. It wasn't quite as hard as when we went to Holiday World. It was another 15 degrees hotter.
Yeah. And then they even had, which I actually noticed at Holiday World also, they had an icy thing that we got later in the day that you can mix up your icy, and they filled it for you, but they had one of like 4 to 6 flavors, and you tell them how many flavors you want in your cup, and they mix it up. So I thought that was pretty cool. I hadn't seen that elsewhere, but then we go to Holiday World and I saw it, so it must be the new thing. Our Six Flags doesn't have that. They just have ices, not a mix it up thing.
So if you just joined us, welcome to our trip recap from last week. Appreciate you joining Adventures by D. I'm Dave. This is my wonderful and charming wife, Kris.
And here's the Eiffel Tower coming into the picture.
Yes, we're recapping our visit first to Kings Island, and then we're going to get to Holiday World.
No, I think this is Paris, isn't it? Isn't it? No?
No.
So cool, though, when you come in, they have a water feature in the front, and then the Eiffel Tower. Why did they build an Eiffel Tower? Like, what is the reason for it? I mean, this is your home park, Dave. You've gone there a million times.
I think it's just that was going to be their signature landmark. Tom, do they not have one in? So King's Dominion is their sister park somewhere in the, I don't know, Virginia-esque area. Don't they also have an Eiffel Tower at King's Dominion? I don't know why they decided to build one, but that's always been the park signatures of that mini Eiffel Tower in the middle of it. That's the carousel there.
You know, we didn't ride that. We saw it. They have bumper cars around there too. But look you can actually see that it is really big. I mean, it's a third of the size. It is big. With an elevator going up and down. No stairs. So if you wanted your cardio, sorry, you can't run any stairs for it. It's and it was quick. It's a quick ride up there. It wasn't bad. Yeah. It was cute.
Oh, Tom says King's Dominion also has the fountains.
Oh,
the fountains have always been there too. I mean, it's beautiful fountains, the size of probably longer than Caesar's Palace. It's not. Some parks have fountains, like a small fountain. Kings Island has a fountain probably the size of 2 or 3 football fields. I don't know the exact size of it, but when you walk in, you see the fountains and you see the Eiffel Tower. You know you're at Kings Island, which is probably why they did it.
Yeah, it was good. We had a good time.
All right.
What do you think? Let's
leave Cincinnati. We're going to get to the merch hall towards the end of the stream, so be patient. We're going to get to our tremendous.
Oh, we could. You don't want to now?
You want to show?
You're already showing. We did represent different parks here, so you can do. We can show some. Okay. I know everyone's just dying. They're like, "Oh, please show me your T-shirts." I can't wait.
Yeah, let me bring in.
Right. So Dave has something.
So I have the Beast. It says Kings Island below it. really soft T-shirt. We prefer this soft T-shirts, and this is a soft iron-on. What are the approximate costs? I think the T-shirts are about $25. It looks like.
So the one I chose was $32. I think your thing here, it's like a long sleeve hoodie. T-shirt.
This is a long sleeve hoodie. I don't know. The kids are into it. I kind of like this too.
You wear those. You have a Disney one like that. Don't listen to it.
It doesn't get really too cold down here in Georgia, so this is perfect. It's like a thin layer hoodie. It says the Beast on it.
Yeah, he just got everything Beast. Madison got this one that was like all the roller coasters on it. It was kind of cool when you're looking around, figuring out what. It's kind of neat. And it's on the front. And let me see here. Dean got one. They have a roller coaster called Mystic Timber. And he got a shirt representing that coaster. So hang on, let me get it. Last one. Of course, it's on the bottom. He enjoyed it. That thing went fast. You guys all went on it and you were shocked, right, with that wooden coaster.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mini lightning rod. It was really fast and smooth for a wooden coaster.
They go on this thing. It's called the Miami River Company. And it's called Mystic Timber. And I thought they were going on a log flume ride. Swear to God, I didn't know they were going on a coaster. And then I kept walking around trying to figure out where the water ride was. And there's a Charlie Brown water ride right next to it, a log flume. When I walked to it, I'm like, that's not it. And then I went back and they're like, oh God, they just got on a wooden coaster called Mystic Timber. Duh. You know, like I didn't get what you guys were doing. So, and then I got a classic. It's just like, it's like a retro. This is like the most expensive of all T-shirts, and it's just a basic.
I'll move it over. There's something. There you go. How much was that one?
I think this one was $32. It's really soft though. They were between $25 and $32.
I'll get the pins.
Shirts. Yeah, we got some pins because of course we got pins, right? So, yeah, the lady's like, "You're buying a lot of T-shirts," and I was like, "Yeah, we don't get here very often."
So we got the basic Kings Island logo pin.
Like, what do you guys collect when you go places? Do you get pins? Like, we like to get T-shirts that we can wear from the place. Like, that's what we try to look for. We always try to get a pin, sometimes a coffee mug. This trip we didn't come home with a coffee mug.
We have so many coffee mugs.
Yeah, but it just depends.
One more coffee mug enters, another one has to leave. That's the rule. I don't care if you get another one, but you got to throw one away or put it somewhere. So this was the one I just held up was $9.
You see, Tom says they ice skate on the water fountains for Christmas. As the fountains shoot up around them as they.
So this is $8. This is a Beast one.
Is that a Beast?
Yeah. This was $8, $7.99.
The Kings Island one's hard to see. The question is, Dave, will you remove it from the package or will it lose its value?
I think the pins can go on the pin board. And then, of course, we had to get this one.
I was like, we have to get the one about the blue ice cream because that's like, if you go on their website, if you look at their social media, it's all about that and that beer. The ice cream is everywhere. So
this was $8. Yeah, the beer's new. The ice cream's been there since '82, apparently.
But you never got it. Your parents never let you, Dave.
Oh, they did enough for me. Okay, Tom collects Christmas ornaments, and then Karki does ornaments, shirts, and starting to collect pins. Okay,
that's awesome. And then we played a carnival game, and we won Bob Ross. Like, come on, this is the best of all of him, and he stayed in our car window for the rest of the trip. So we won little Bob Ross. And I had to pay $20 worth of carnival games to win him. We didn't even win him on the first try.
What game? I wasn't right there. When
it was like you tossed a ball and it landed in these cups and there was like a whole thing. It was kind of like the ring toss on top of the glass bottle, but it's a ball. And if it landed in, there's a blue cups or yellow cups and then there's white cups. So if you land in the colored cups, you would win something, but you had to land 5 times into the colored cup. So the first time we played, I think we had 10 balls, I don't know, and for $10, and we landed in 3. So then we're all like, well, we got to go for it. I mean, 2 more and we get Bob Ross. So we did do it. I mean, he's just it's hysterical, right? Like I remember watching him on PBS. So some of you guys may also. And now he's like hip. So
they're probably making more money off his licensing now than when he was alive. Poor guy.
No, right? We talked about that.
Yeah.
And then I'll jump ahead, but this is kind of a joke. Because when we went to Holiday World, I played a different game and we won the balloon animal. So I say that Bob Ross created the balloon animal. So he was in the other window kind of coming home for us. So just kind of funny. But and hopefully we'll see how long till the dog gets either of these. We put Bob Ross up. I'd like him to live for a while. So we'll see what happens. He's cute. He's cute. Bob Ross is cute. So another balloon animal. And I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, the pins, the shirts. It was interesting. Their merchandise was interesting too because they had one shop up front that had stuff. That's where we got a lot of these. But really, their merch is individual based on the rides. So you didn't necessarily see the same things up front that you do around the rides. You know, Disney has the merch game down, and then Universal is a close second. But it really had to think about like which T-shirts we wanted and where to get them.
Yes,
so.
And quick commercial for Dean at the Live Place. Thanks for listing us on the Live Place. It's your one-stop source for all family-friendly streamers. And their list, we're on there at Adventures by D. We stream the second and fourth Thursday every month at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard.
Wow, we should have like a little jingle sound or something. Where'd that come from?
I'm just giving Dean his props because he's working with us and got us up there quickly and got our logo. So make sure and check out the Live Place.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And then I should stop because our computer screen just keeps playing Kings Island, like walking. Oh, put this on now.
All right. Let's see.
No, put right
there. It's on.
Yeah, look it.
Look, there's Snoopy.
Oh my gosh. Look how stinking cute Snoopy is. And you can meet him. I mean, come on. Is that not just amazing?
Wait for it. He mugs for the YouTuber here. I'm like trying not to run over the kids. And he shows me some.
Imagine the dad's like, turn around, turn around.
I'm like trying to wait patiently here.
And the kid doesn't get on the camera
yeah.
too. Oh my gosh. Look, he has a shirt on. I thought it was a jacket, but it's not. Doghouse. I wish Woodstock was out. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. I'm just happy.
How little would Woodstock be? Like, I would accept a Woodstock the same size as Snoopy. I'd be okay with that. But that little land is so cute. And you remember it as what, Hanna-Barbera in there?
Yeah.
And the Smurfs.
None of the kids are going to remember. They don't even know who Hanna-Barbera cartoons are. So there you go. Snoopy realizes he's live on YouTube. I'm getting.
All these little kids are like, "What about us?"
Yeah, it's like, get out of there, get out of there. I need pictures of my kids, so I moved on.
This little land was cute. It was very packed all day, so if you have young kids, get there early because it was busy. And then there's these Boo Blasters here, which is like a dark ride shooter game. If you haven't done anything like it, it would be similar to Buzz Lightyear, but not quite. And I'm curious, Tom, how your experience was. Dean and I wrote it, and I did not enjoy it as much as I thought I would. So, and it's probably a very controversial statement, but the guns didn't seem to manufacture. It's like a fluorescent paint, and it's blacklit, so like everything glows, and you shoot these targets, and these skeletons pop out. So super, super cute, the idea of it, but the execution of it for us, like when I went in, I couldn't even see where to walk. It was so dark. I like walked into the wall literally, and I tripped up a stair. I couldn't even see how to get to the car. It was so dark in there. And then once we were done with the ride, my eyes had adjusted, but that time frame, because there wasn't a long line, it was brutal getting in there. But it wasn't as good as I thought it would be, this version of the shooter. What is this? Peanuts License Agency? Do they like monitor? Oh, it's shut. So
it's just a photo ride. There's a small wooden kids coaster over there. Used to be like the Scooby-Doo Junior, and now it's just a Peanuts coaster, and that's the photo booth for that ride. Then
they have this like aerial little roller coaster. It doesn't do anything except go around in the top. It kind of reminded me of Seuss Land at Universal, except not nearly as themed as that aerial ride. And I thought about getting on that with Dean, but I was afraid we wouldn't fit in the upper. It's a teeny little car up there.
Yeah, Dean's not fitting in my car anymore. That's for sure.
It's so cute. I mean, look at that thing. That thing is so cute. Tom, did you ride that one? See, Tom says the guns were not.
Said the guns are garbage, but he said,
Tom, I'm gonna disagree with you. Gobbler's Getaway from Holiday World takes the win for me on the shooter rides between the two. Like, loved it. I could not get enough out of that one. That thing was cute, right?
Yeah, you want to move on to
I guess you do.
I don't know.
Yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, so we went to Indianapolis for a birthday party after that, and
got to see family. That was
got
wonderful.
to see family. So let me exit out of Kings Island. Hello. And we spent a few days up there. And then from there, we went down to Holiday World. While Kris prepped some of the video. First of all, we will have our Holiday World vlog out tomorrow morning. So be looking on that. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you know when it comes out. Holiday World is in Santa Claus, Indiana, which I'm from Indiana, and I don't even know where that is. It's in southern Indiana, about an hour from Louisville, not too far from Evansville. So essentially from Indianapolis, you go 2 hours south and then 1 hour to the west. And it's down in cute little Santa Claus, Indiana. This is our first visit to Holiday World. We had been to Santa Claus one time during the winter, and Holiday World was not open. So we had none of the four of us had been. So it was a brand new park for all four of us. And it was great, exceeded expectations. I knew they had some world-class wooden roller coasters, but that's about all I knew about the park before going, on purpose, sort of, so it didn't ruin things. But we got down there, and there was so much to do. Yes, it is on the Central Time Zone. So Kris is going to show the Thanksgiving ride, the Gobbler Getaway here.
I mean, look at this.
This is their dark ride.
Yeah, so you have these little guns, and when you shoot them, it's like a little turkey call. And when you hit the targets, little turkeys pop out. You're trying to free the turkeys is pretty much what you're trying to do. So it glows. And the same idea with the Boo Blasters in Kings Island, except that has skeletons. It's like a different theme, but they're very much the same idea. But I could not, I mean, this to me was so stinking cute. I couldn't stand it. Like, it was just so cute. And stuff flew by so fast. And it has the cart has 2 rows. You have like a front row and a back row. Those in the front row get prime targeting of hitting the stuff. If you're in the back row and you're trying to shoot around people, you don't hit as much. But I think this round, we got to ride twice in a row. They let us stay in the car. They're really nice. And I think I was kind of filming whatever the kids were trying to hit. It was really cute.
This ride was really well lit.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's black lit, but it's all lit, so the colors really pop.
You can see you hit the target and the little things pop out. So it was.
Hey, Tim, no, we've left Kings Island, now we're in Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana. So we haven't been to Cedar Point yet. That's on the bucket list. But this is Holiday World in Santa Claus.
Yes. And this theme park, to me, it's so cute. They have 4 lands. So they have Christmas Town, Halloween Town, Thanksgiving Town, and 4th of July Town. And with it, they have theming. So like this is Gobbler Getaway. It's in Thanksgiving Town. We ate lunch in Thanksgiving Town. We had like a Thanksgiving dinner, quote unquote, in the Thanksgiving Town. They have probably their best roller coaster called the Voyage. It's in Thanksgiving Town. They have other things in there. And then you get to Halloween Town. It's like Halloween music's playing, and they theme, like they have a scrambler or a swing ride, but they theme it to scarecrows and stuff. So it's kind of like Halloween. So it's similar rides that you would see elsewhere, but they just put some extra theming around it. So you can see, and I don't know why you would like the cars would stop. So the kids are, trying to hit through the door, trying to
get every
you
point.
See it? Yes, they were trying to beat each other. Who's going to get the points? And that's hysterical.
But this park, I knew they were going to have world-class wooden roller coasters, which they did. The biggest one called the Voyage. And if you saw the latest roller coaster rankings, I think they came out on foxnews.com last week. The Voyage wooden roller coaster was the 4th best roller coaster, wooden or steel, I think in the U.S. So Kris has got some footage here. I rode it twice, once by myself and once with the kids, and it was amazing. It was very high, very long, and very fast. Faster than the Beast, even faster, I thought, than Lightning Rod in Dollywood. And it was an intense ride. It goes through 5 underground tunnels. It was an amazingly intense ride the whole time. Once you started down that hill, there was no slow part of the ride. You really kind of held your breath from there. And it goes through the woods in the park. So it doesn't really, it comes back into the park, but you go way out into the woods, so you really don't see any other part of the parks. And again, we'll have our full vlog up tomorrow on Holiday
Yeah, we
World.
have I have so much footage of, this is kind of like our raw files of the roller coasters and trying to catch them going by.
So that was Voyage, and then they had the Legend, and they also had the Raven.
So can you guys see this?
They should be able to.
It's Santa-tizer. It's not sanitizer. They have Santa-tizer. And what's unique about this park is it's unlimited beverages, self-service, Pepsi products. It's Gatorade, water, and Pepsi products. You can get them all day long. They have it all. They have these stations all over the park, and it is so clean. That's the thing. I walked away from this park, and I think, man, if other amusement parks had this, you would see cups everywhere and the floor would be sticky. Think about when you went to McDonald's and the soda machine's a mess. These machines were unbelievably clean. There were a lot of teenagers working right now for the summer. There was one kid I saw on Halloween Land. He cleaned that machine.
Welcome.
So many times. I watched him, he would restock the cups. There was not the place was pristine. The restrooms were pristine. When we ate, we were in the Thanksgiving land. I forget what it's called, Plymouth something, where we ate.
Plymouth Cafe, I think it was.
And there was a teenager in there. He was wiping every table. It was just the place, the cleanliness and the friendliness of the people that worked there were second to none with Holiday World. It was awesome.
Yeah, if you're just joining, we're recapping our trips last week to Kings Island and now to Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana. So Holiday World, they had free sodas, water, Pepsi products, free sunscreen, and free parking. So that alone, talk about value. Most of those things, I don't know, at least $50 in other parks if you add them all together. So that was awesome. And then here's another unique thing that they did here. Kris is going to share this. They had a diving show, which I'd never seen in a park before.
And it was silly. It was good, and they also did silly things too. It lasted a while, and they did these stunt dives, whatever they want to do. So they belly flop and all sorts of stuff, and they did a high dive. It was real. It was a really, really good show. I didn't think, I was oh, and I was waiting on them. They were finishing a coaster, the Raven, and the dive show is right there. So I went down there, and it was so good. I was holy cow, this thing is really cute. And there's a guy. They had music playing, and then the guy with the microphone, he was kind of commentating and telling them what to do. This was a guy from, I probably shouldn't spoil it, right? There was a guy from the audience that was a plant that came out, and then he joined them it was a shock.
It was a shock.
While he was yelling from the audience and disrupting the divers, and it was a shock when he jumped over the thing and went up. You know what I'm saying? But it was cute. It was very cute.
Yeah, they had some really high dives.
Yeah. And
then they had some aerial stunts where 5 or 6 of them were out there. So I think Kris was watching it for their entertainment and not just a man in the Speedos, but I'm not sure about that.
And there were women divers too. They were very good also. So it was fun. So this is we're just playing a scene from when they were being silly with the guy. So they had, I think, 5 or 6 divers as a part of the show. It was really good. So I know we're talking about, it was really, really good. And I can't remember the last theme park I've been to that has had a dive show.
I can't remember any of them.
And there's been
SeaWorld.
I don't the Miami Seaquarium, I think, had one, but that's not a theme park. So it's been a long time since I've seen a true dive show. We saw it at the Georgia Renaissance Fair. They had a little dive show. If you remember that.
Did. Yes, they did.
It was a couple of years ago, but it was different from this. And you can see the Raven right there. I
think that's the Legend right there. The Raven's towards the other way. Yeah, their three wooden roller coasters are awesome. I started talking about them, but they're different in ages and lengths and intensities, but they're all kind of intense. and the Voyage is the longer of the three. But all three were really good wooden roller coasters.
So Tom's in Water Country USA. They have a diving show. Now, Holiday World is Holiday World and Splashin' Safari, right?
Yeah.
So there's a water park and a theme park, and your ticket gets you into both. We only spent time in the theme park, and Tom's going to find that Blasphemous Vacationers podcast because they had done both. But by the time we were done with the theme park, it was probably 5:30, and they shut at 7 or something like that. We were exhausted. We were there all day. So we did not end up doing it. And I know they had told us you've got to do the water park because it has all these launch water coasters and stuff that looked awesome.
Yeah, their water parks also
great.
rated very well.
Yeah.
I wanted to go in, but
we had our swim stuff in the car. It was just exhausting to think going all the way back to the car to come all the way back in.
Had we had a second day, we would have absolutely went in the water park.
And it's cool. So think about like people were waiting, and the water park had, let's say the theme park opened at 10, the water park opened at 11, but it had like a wave pool and it had a bunch of water coasters like
had the first, I think it has the first launch water coaster.
Yeah.
When you think about that, that's pretty advanced for a water roller coaster.
Yeah, and it's inside their theme park. So it's not like Volcano Bay at Universal that has something similar. It's within their theme park. So that's something we would definitely do when we go back for sure. Love this. I think this park was super cute. It was interesting. I was speaking to a lady who she has season pass, and I thought this was interesting. So their season pass is about, if I understood it, about $110, which is more than Six Flags is for us, right? And you do not get discounts with your season pass, like on merch or food, which I thought was very, very interesting. So it's definitely a premium price for the area too. I mean, you're in the middle of nowhere when you're driving to it. So, you drive on this interstate and you don't even see a billboard for 60 miles, But it was like I would go back there again in a heartbeat. Loved it. Wish we could have done another day.
Yeah, we probably will go back again at some point.
Yeah.
We also, you want to talk about the Santa cottages some?
Yes. So go ahead. I'll pull up some stuff.
So we stayed in a cute little place a couple miles down the road from Holiday World. As you can imagine, Santa Claus, Indiana is not a real big town. So there's not a lot of hotels there. There's a handful close. Other than that, you probably have to go to Louisville to find a lot of hotels. But I found this place on the internet called Santa's Cottages, which we'll have a separate vlog about in the future. And they're individual cottages on this grounds 2 miles from Holiday World that were themed, you guessed it, to Santa Claus.
I can show you guys, like it's this is the little map of the grounds to give you an idea of how many cottages there are. And so is there 20 something? We were number 28, right? So I guess there's at least 28 of them. And so it's a small little ground. It has a pool. All the cottages have a lake or a pond kind of near them or framed around them where you can fish. You can rent fishing poles. Every cottage has a fire pit. And when we're saying cottage, it's a air conditioned, like we had a 2-bedroom house. Like, I don't know what to call it. It's my idea of camping. Like, seriously, you have air conditioning and a couple bathrooms and there's a swing and a fire pit and a grill and all that stuff. We got to meet the vacationers. They were in Holiday World that day, so they came over and ate some dinner with us. It was really exciting to get to meet them. And
I cooked an amazing hamburger and hot dog dinner, off the chart.
And we were set. They had to drive. They were staying in near Kings Island, right?
No,
sorry, Kentucky Kingdom.
Yeah.
And they also went to Kentucky Kingdom on their trip. So they had to head back. We had a good time. They missed the s'mores. We made s'mores that night. But it is, I'm going to see, I should pull up a video, Dave, to kind of show.
Yeah. And
then down the street from the Santa's cottages near Holiday World is the holiday, what is it called? Holiday food. What is what is the grocery store called?
I think it's called Holiday Foods.
Yeah, something like that. So, and then there's the Christmas, in the same shopping center is the Christmas store. And then in the same shopping center is the Christmas Santa Claus, Indiana post office,
yes.
And there's Santas that you take pictures. And we had pictures from the kids from probably 10 years ago when they were little, and I had them stand in front of the same Santa Clauses or whatever we did when we were here in that area to kind of show how much bigger it is.
Yes, the cookie was very good. So Tom brought
like a cookie cake.
Yeah.
And it was very,
very good. Very fresh, actually.
Yes. And I'm gonna, let me see here.
So we're trying to bring up some video of the cottages so you guys and gals get an idea of what it looked like. They're really just small, self-contained houses, if you will. We were in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, fully furnished, nice big kitchen, porch swing on a lake, fire pit to ourselves. The pools are next door. It was great. Fishing was good. I caught a fish. The kids caught a fish, so it was fun fishing. Once we got in from the park, you have to get us out of the. You can hit this one over here. This is the inside of one of the cottages here.
Yeah. They have like dishwasher, fridge. I mean, it was crazy. It was really good. Like we would stay there again. We were talking about, wow, that would be a great day. We fished. And tell them about the fishing. You guys have to hear this.
Well, the fishing, there was a bunch of smaller fish in there. So what you would do is the owner told me what you do is catch the little fish, then you leave the little fish on your hook, and then the big bass come up and eat the little fish. So kind of a unique way to fish if you want to put it that way. So
basically you're like, the fish are cannibalizing the fish. This is right outside. Dave chose this because you go on a map and you choose the cabin you want, the cottage. And so he chose this one, and the pool was right next to it. And we were right next to the pier to go out and fish. And when we got there, it was raining, but it had stopped by the time we started cooking. But it has like a full.
Once Tom left, the rain stopped.
Yeah. But it has a full, I mean, it was super cute. It really was. And when we were trying to figure out hotels, like Santa Claus and Anna, where's there to stay? Well, like nowhere, really. So they gave us fish food also. So you could, if you just wanted to throw food at the fish, you could. So it was really nice. It was really, really enjoyable, I have to say. It's kind of cool.
Let's bring us back in.
Yeah. I just have to. And then they have this like Santa train. Oh my god.
Oh, they have the Santa train on property. I guess the guy that ran it used to run the train at Holiday World in the park itself. So he has his own train on the Santa's cottages. We'll pull some video up of that so you can see probably the last thing we did before we left heading back south.
Yes. Can you guys hear our cat?
Yes.
Howling, wanting to get in the room right now. Let's see here. Which one is? That's outside of the train.
So while she's looking for that, as the scroll says at the bottom, we'll have our Holiday World vlog out in the morning. It's loaded up on YouTube as we speak.
And then we're going to have a separate one just on these cottages to kind of go through if somebody wanted to stay. Because we were trying to figure out where to stay there. And we're having a hard time figuring that out. So
Tim says they can't hear the cat.
Good.
Yeah.
This is, I'll add it in.
You just got to go here. Just click on that one.
This is the train. This isn't us on the train, but this is the little train that you take. They pull. Super, super cute. And
our cats, they're not quite asleep yet, Tim.
Oh, no, they're not. How dare there be a shut door that they can't get in? You know what I'm saying? The dogs like that too. Yeah, it was a great place. It was a lot of fun. There's a ton of stuff. I guess we'll move on. We'll do a vlog for this, but we have like I'm looking at all our raw files here of different stuff we could show, but we'll.
Yeah, the sleeping animal is like a sleeping baby. You never disturb it. All right, let's get that scroll off of there. What else we got to show here? We have
we have other things. We also went to the Indianapolis Zoo.
Yes, we did.
Which we're going to release a thing on that. They're known. They have an orangutan exhibit, I would say they're known for. And they're unique because they have an oceans exhibit. So they have a very small aquarium part of their zoo, which most zoos don't have. I mean, they had a desert area that was themed really cool. So, and they had a roller coaster.
They have a roller coaster, and they had a gondola, like sky ride over the Apes Museum. But it wasn't once, but the roller coaster was working. And it's a roller coaster in a zoo. So it's not like for thrill seekers.
And you pay extra for it, by the way. And they have a train that you pay extra for also.
My mom rode it with us, and even she said it wasn't as thrilling as she would have liked.
What? So. That wasn't anything. Yeah. So, but they did. They got another coaster credit. It was cute. It's a cute zoo. And now you may grab. Let me see what else. So from Holiday World. That's Kings Island.
We're going to share the Holiday World merch now.
Yeah. There we go. Dean got a Voyage t-shirt, which I think unanimously was all of your guys' favorite roller coaster there, right? Big wooden, super fast, probably one of the fastest you've ever ridden on wooden roller coasters.
Yes, they did have a winged launch roller coaster, steel one called Thunderbird, but it was not running. I would have loved to rode that and compared it to Wild Eagle at Dollywood, but Thunderbird wasn't running, so that's their big steel coaster. That's why we're just talking about the Woodies.
And then this is called the Legend. This is for a theme. This is one of these shirts too. He really liked the logo. He wanted it on black, but they didn't have it on the black shirt. And I mean, when in Holiday World, you have to get their logo 75 years. And I'm actually wearing a Holiday World. I'm wearing a 75 years t-shirt because it's 75 years. Madison got one of the other coasters before they built the Voyage. Their next best coaster is the Raven. And so she got a t-shirt with the Raven, which is pretty cool. And
I get the pins in my basketball.
Yeah. And their logo is like, isn't this so 70s? You know what I'm saying? Well, we got ornaments. Yeah. So of course we ended up getting ornaments from Holiday World. I don't even know if I saw ornaments. There had to be ornaments at Kings Island, but I don't know if I saw them. We got the classic. I had to get the basic logo. And we also got one wrapped up with 75 years. It's like a.
Then when you go to Holiday World, you have to get something with Santa on it, I think.
And can you guys believe we missed Santa? We go to meet Santa, and they're like, Santa's left for the day. But Santa was virtual. He was on a screen right now for safety meeting. But we went in the store, and we're like, is this where you meet Santa? And they said, well, can you come back tomorrow? We said, we can't come back tomorrow. So, and there was a huge line. There's also Holodog, like one of their mascots.
Speaking of the Holodog, we got a pin.
And when we got into the park before their rope drop, and they literally drop ropes to get to once you let you in to get to the rides. And there was the longest line was to already meet Holodog. It was queued up like 20 deep, 15 minutes before the park opened. And I was like, what is going on? So we did not meet Holodog, unfortunately.
Yes, we were saying Holodog, Holidog. That's the name of the mascot.
Yes. So cute. Wouldn't you think Santa's their mascot? I mean, it's, Holiday World.
Oh, and then, so if you watch your vlogs, which I hope you do, if you're watching the live stream, we do something called Dave's Basketball Challenge. It's a way to relive my high school days of being a bad basketball player. But I try to win the basketball almost everywhere we go. So I was able to win one, which is unique because they had Purdue basketball. So boiler up. It was fun to win a Purdue basketball.
That's Dave's alma mater, Purdue.
Yes.
He's a Big Ten guy.
That's right.
And he was so excited. They did have my school there, but Dave said, no, I'm going to get my school. Just saying. And then Dean saw these. And Tom, I don't know if you saw these when you went, but they have these like really cool posters. So this one is for the Legend. You see it. We have it in the plastic right now. These are $35. And then they had another one for the Raven. We're going to frame these. We think we're going to put them up at Thanksgiving, at a Halloween, like for as a part of Halloween decorations, maybe, because they're pretty cool. And then, but they were $35 each. And then Dean told me, is he the one that saw them? He showed them to us in the main store. And then he said, oh, Kings Island had these, but I saw them when we were checking out. And I was like, what? Because I would have gotten a Kings Island.
Were these on heavy paper for $35? That was my question.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll frame them and put them like a picture. But they're, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it kind of feels like they're on cardstock. But we'll pretend they are. And it's kind of, I guess it's in a sealed thing, isn't it? I didn't try to open it. But I thought that was pretty cool, like just art. Now the one for their favorite ride, the Voyage.
The design wasn't as good.
Yeah. They didn't, none of them like that. Like these were cooler. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool and unique to have just like a print from the, and then the lady in the store, when you bought it, like you should put red tape to prove that you bought it. So we thought, Dave's like, I hope you don't run out of that red tape. It was really funny.
I'm amazed you found something for Halloween. Wow.
But it may not be. Maybe we'll put them behind us. But I don't know. I thought that I kind of wish could have seen one from Kings Island. Kings Island. I've gone on their website. They do have one or two on their website right now. But it's kind of cool. So I guess a lot of the theme parks have these that you can get as a souvenir. And the trick was getting it home without getting it bent.
Yes. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for us if you haven't already. And then consider subscribing if you're not subscribed. We would appreciate it. We're over 800 subs, so thanks everybody. And thanks for watching tonight. We're still going, but I just wanted to say that before I forgot. So appreciate everybody watching. I know you have a choice on YouTube.
And we learned some history about Holiday World.
Yes. So
Holiday World was started by, to explain how it was started.
One of the Kochs, K-O-C-H, he came down to Santa Claus, Indiana in the mid-40s and was looking for Santa Claus, and Santa Claus wasn't there. So he started a small place where the kids can come down and see Santa, as you would expect when you come to some place called Santa Claus, Indiana. And
it's since grown into this massive
75
destination theme park that they had these Nights. Is it Holiday Nights? What was it called?
It was Hollywood Nights.
Hollywood
W-O-O-D.
There was a coaster convention going on the evening of the day we were there, and then the next day, and everyone looked like they're having a blast. They had these rainbow lanyards. I guess it was Wizard of Oz themed, but you buy special tickets. You have to be a member of the coaster club. There were a lot of people coming in for it. Towards the evening, and they have special, you get to ride the rides unlimited. They give you special access to like show you how some of the coasters inside areas you wouldn't normally get.
Yeah.
It looked really, really cool. It was just at the time we're not a member of that coaster club to do that. So we had just done regular tickets, but in the future it might be, I mean, they all look like they're having a great time. Yeah. So, but what Dave learned is when Mr. Koch passed away and his kids were inheriting Holiday World, they had some disagreements, right? And certain people got Holiday World and certain people didn't. And those people that didn't went where?
They bought Alabama Adventure about 4 years ago. So that's a park over near Birmingham. We haven't been to.
We were going to go there.
We're going to go there.
We were going to go there anyway, but since we learned that the Holiday World people half the Holiday World people run Alabama Adventure, and it makes a lot of sense now because we have been watching all of their PR since they've reopened, and the rides, they're building new rides, and they have a water park inside their theme park, very similar things, and I think they have unlimited drinks. Did you see that?
I think that they do too.
I don't know. We'll see, but it's about a 3 hour. We think 3 hours from here, but we were going to go, and now we're really going to go because we got to see this place. I don't think it's built up anywhere near what Holiday World is. And I mean, did anybody know Alabama had a theme park? Because I actually really didn't, and we live here in Atlanta, and I hadn't heard of it. So we're hoping to get to that soon. We're going to do we have lots of plans for other things. Like Dave wants to get back to Disney so badly. He's like dying right now.
Well, Adventures Campus looks cool.
And Madison is really trying to work on me about it. But there's a lot of these other regional parks that we want to explore too, because these were gems. I'd been to Kings Island once, but Holiday World was really cute. I mean, just for what it is with the theming and in the regional area, super, super cute. I'm really glad we went, So
that was a thumbs up from you?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And the fact we stayed in the Santa's cottage was a little bit different. We stayed at a Hampton Inn we stayed at a Hampton Inn and a Residence Inn before that, like throughout around Kings Island, we're staying at a Hampton Inn, and then in Indianapolis, a Residence Inn. So it was kind of fun to stay in the cottage and experience that with the fire pit and the fishing and all that stuff. It was a good time. It was like a different sort of vacation for us, if that makes sense. So if they had a pool or a hot tub, there was a pool right next to us, but like right at our place, it would have been like, wow. but it was right next to us. Just the pool shut. What time shut? Like 7:30?
Too early.
Shut.
Yeah.
So we weren't there when the pool was open. So I don't know why, but
so the summer of adventure continues, is what I'm calling it. Some more travels to come. Madison and I are going to hit a park close here that we haven't been to by the end of the month, so stay tuned for that. Working on our next Disney trip. That's always exciting.
And you never know, it could just happen one day because Dave is really working on me because he wants to go very badly.
And we do have tickets for Halloween Horror Nights. Yeah, can't wait for that.
Yeah, we have tickets from last year. So we're waiting. We're waiting with bated breath as they announce what they're going to announce. We have our hotel reservation already. We know when we're going. And so we just have to figure out what the rules are to redeem our tickets. But yeah, we'll be going to Universal in the fall. Can't wait for that.
Hashtag more than halfway to Halloween.
Yes, it is. It is. So it's exciting. It felt good to kind of get out there and have some fun. Are any of you guys doing any trips or local things that you guys have plans for? It was refreshing to be able to go see family, something that I guess I took for granted before, that now it's like, we got to go see family, so we haven't seen them. So I don't know how any of you guys feel about that, but it was nice.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Before I forget, our next live stream's in 2 weeks. We're going to have Dawn and hopefully Will here from the Hitchhiking Bones talking about what we want to see in season 3 of The Mandalorian. Yes, I know Loki's going on right now, which is pretty good. Check out Loki if you have it on Disney Plus. But next week, we're going to talk, 2 weeks, we're going to talk about what we'd like to see in The Mandalorian season 3 that's going to be out Christmas time. Speaking of Holiday World, Christmas time, it's right around the corner too.
And how ironic is, I don't think Holiday World is opened at Christmas. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Do a light thing or something. I guess because you can't do the water park because it's going to be too cold. But I think that's just really interesting that I don't think they are. They do have a Halloween thing, though. We did see that. We're like, oh, they asked us, are you going to come back for Halloween? And then we're like, I don't know if we can make it there. But I'd love to see it.
I wish it was closer to the Atlanta, Georgia area.
Yeah,
both of those parks.
Was it a 6 to 7 hour drive back?
Probably.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was less than I thought it was going to be from there. I thought it was going to be 8 to 9, but it's still quite a drive. So it was cute though. Definitely very, very cute.
All righty.
Anything else? There's
I'm stealing our friend's Melanie's side from Disney Connections to wrap it up.
She wants to wrap it up. What about news?
What about news? There's nothing going on with theme parks. Just some little Velocicoaster.
Like in the last week, going from Avengers Campus opening to like Velocicoaster opening coast to coast, like holy cow. Major things. I'm so happy for everyone in California. They're experiencing all of these new things. It's from the theme parks reopening to like Knott's also having their it's 100, right?
Yep.
Yeah, their 100th anniversary. I mean, there's so many things.
So many anniversary, 100, 75, 50. It's like trying to keep up.
Yeah. So I'm really curious. I really need to look up this 75 for Holiday World that I have right here. Was it truly just kids met Santa Claus? Or like, what was it in the beginning? Kind of like Knott's was, they sold jelly and berries, and that was the beginning. So it wasn't, it wasn't what it is now. But just curious kind of how these things started versus like a Disney started as Disney, right? So it's kind of interesting how that flushes out.
Where school's out, we're trying to focus on get to some parks we can't get to when school is in. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons. And also we had some family in Midwest, but trying to get to some of the mid-major parks or whatever you want to call them that aren't Disney, Universal in different parts of the U.S. While we can
see something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did want to share with Holiday World. So the least exciting land in Holiday World was, to me, Santa Claus Land. I just want to throw that out there. There wasn't anything going on in Santa Claus Land.
Do you want to say why?
There wasn't anything going on in Santa Claus Land. There was just kids' rides.
They had a fountain. They had Santa Claus treats. They had a nativity scene. Tom wants us to come to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg.
I know. I'd love to come to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Are you kidding? That is a beautiful park. My favorite real animal experience is a lorikeet landing on my head at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. That's my favorite thing that's ever happened to me at the theme park. It just kind of sat there pecking at my head. It was actually a lot of fun. Anything else you can think of?
I would say no. It was a great trip. I enjoyed it all around.
It was so fun.
Enjoyed the back-to-back parks. It was so nice getting out and going on a trip. And looking forward to going on a couple more trips here before the end of the summer.
I do have a question for Tom, Vacationeers, in the chat. So originally when we were planning this trip, we were going to also have Kentucky Kingdom in our swing of Kings Island and Holiday World. Vacationeers did it. So they also did Kentucky Kingdom. I am curious what they thought of it because I saw on Twitter they left at like 2 o'clock. Now they wanted to get to Kings Island and there's a drive, but I didn't know if you just knocked everything out and there wasn't a ton to do. It's like a theme park and a water park in one, and it's run by Hershey Family Entertainment that runs Dollywood and Wild Adventure and Callaway Gardens and Stone Mountain and I don't know all these places we go to, but we didn't make it on this trip.
That's what we're waiting on Tom to answer about Kentucky Kingdom. That's another thing that made Holiday World different. It's still family run. You know, Kings Island's run by Cedar Fair, which also runs different regional parks, including Knott's. And then Hershey runs Dollywood and some of the other stuff here around Atlanta. And then Six Flags runs all the Six Flags parks.
Oh, Tom. He says we'll have to listen to his podcast to find out.
He's greasing the skids to get the podcast listeners. So head over to the Vacationeers podcast to hear more about Kentucky Kingdom.
Well, he has one out where he interviews a guy who does a Royal Caribbean podcast and blog, who he is a huge fan of from podcasting. He used to podcast Disney stuff. So it's kind of interesting listening to that too. Different topic, cruising. So we do not have one set cruise, but I know like Tom does and several other. Dave wants to, right?
Yes, I want to cruise. That's been made clear a long time ago.
There's so many things to do though. I want to spread the money over many things, not one. So, Tom says Matt is who he interviews on the podcast.
All right, so things coming up. Next live streams in 2 weeks with Dawn and Will from the Hitchhiking Bones. We're going to talk about Mando season 3, what we want to see. Yes to that, Tom. Check out our vlog coming out in Holiday World in the morning. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button on your way out here if you haven't. Appreciate everybody joining. Appreciate everybody's time. We know you have a choice on YouTube. There's a lot of streamers and vloggers, so thanks so much. And appreciate everybody and their time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yes, we had fun. We have fun.
And we
on our
hope
live
you guys
streams.
get to do something this summer, regardless of what it is. You know, if you just get a little time to yourself to do something. I mean, it was something we were looking forward to. So we're glad we got it. We had to kind of knock it out of the way with the kids' schedules, but so we went as soon as we could when school ended. But because here school ends Memorial Day here in Atlanta. So and it starts beginning of August. So
thanks for watching. If you're on the replay or you're just ninja watching, still appreciate you joining.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yes.
And we'll have more to come. So next, 2 weeks is all about the Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars again, guys. It's
Exciting.
Star Wars 24/7 in this house. So it'll be on the live stream too. Dave loves it.
Oh, Karki's still in school.
See?
A different
that
schedule.
Means, do you start Karki after Labor Day? Like school? Because that's tough, isn't it? The cat agrees. Yep. You think that's tough too, Dash? Hold on. Come here, buddy.
He's already been on the stream.
I know he has, but he's meowing, so he won't be quiet. Oh my gosh. August 30th. So right before. That's killer. So you guys go back to school and then take off for Labor Day. That's interesting. But
okay. Well, look for the Holiday World vlog in the morning and a live stream in a couple of weeks. We're going to wrap this up here. It's been 90 minutes. All right, we want to stick to our time slot. Thanks so much. All right, Kris,
Thank
what do you
guys?
Thank you. What do you want?
Hit. We're
Yes,
going now.
yes.
Sorry, I gotta go. He's telling me to go. Or pull the
Wrap it
air.
up. What do we want to say? What do we end everything with?
We always say, may the adventures be with you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Happy
Thank you.
Thursday. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your summer, too.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and
Ringing a bell.
so you'll be notified of our next upload. And as always, may the adventures be with you.